Hey guys, I'm Matt. This is my first YouTube video, and this is the channel known, maybe legendarily known in a couple of years as Matt Talks Film. How original, how non generic that title is. Just kidding. Alright. Now, I've been trying to do this for forever since I am such a huge fan of film and cinema. It's the best way to escape this world we live in today, and there's nothing I love more on this earth, to be quite frankly. And I go to the theaters every week. I see all the new releases. I watch. I try to watch, as Tom Cruise says, one film a day, um, and I just love it. And I usually just talk to films with my friends and family. I usually just annoy them to the bits. I usually just write on my letterbox these long-winded reviews that one to two people occasionally like sometimes. Which shout out to you people, you guys are the best. But I just decided that I needed to use a different outlet, and I'm finally doing it. I've been wanting to do it for a while, and here it is, my first video on YouTube, and the film that inspired me to make a video for finally, what a way to say it, is a film that I've been waiting for forever. It's a film that I've been waiting for since I was at least, I don't know, the first film of this franchise came out in 2003, 2002, 2002. 28 days later, I was a 1 year old, maybe 6 months at the time, and I obviously didn't see it when it came out, but when I did see it, it was a big bang for me in my film going experience, and it's one of the films that made me fall in love with film, and it's a film that will never leave me. It's a film that made me love the zombie genre, and the zombie genre, despite all of its flaws and atrocities to film, let's be quite honest, is one of my favorite genres in all of film and cinema. So I have a huge bias and huge endearment towards the genre, and I've been waiting for this film since I can ever remember. And even the predecessor to this film, 28 Weeks Later, which has the probably greatest opening sequence to a zombie film ever, is horrible. But when I was a young kid, I used to make my family and my friends watch it all the time because I was so blinded by the glorious light of the first sequence that I forced everyone I knew to watch it. And now this is actually an excuse to make an apology to all those people and say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made you sit through that fucking atrocity of a movie, because I've seen that movie twice in these past couple months leading up to this film, and I fucking can barely get through it. The kids in it are horrible. Everything after the opening sequence is nothing in comparison to the opening sequence, and the filmmaker who replaces Danny Boyle is just trying to rip off Danny Boyle and trying to do shit that Danny Boyle did brilliantly in the first film, and it just doesn't work. So yeah, before Letterboxd, I used to go on IMDb, and that's how I used to learn all my film facts and look out when films are coming out next. And every time I used to go on the 28 Days Later IMDb page, or the 28 Weeks Later IMDb page, and I used to look up the director, Danny Boyle, and the film, he always used to say 28 months later, TBD, or TBA, and 28 years later, TBA, TBD. And I'm 23 now, 2025 finally came to fruition. It is finally out, and my God, is it glorious. I'm going to give my review of what I think about the film before I do a little spoiler, and I don't drag it on too long, hopefully, but oh my goodness. This is nearly a masterpiece. Embarrassingly enough, you can trust my opinion of this movie. I've seen it whispering 5 times this weekend. It is now Monday. I've seen it 5 times. I haven't had. I canceled a fucking haircut, which is a mistake. Because goddamn, look at the fucking mess on my head. Hey, at least I have hair, buddy. That bald fuck potentially watching. Anyway, this is fucking unbelievable feat in the film genre of zombies. What Danny Boyle do here to recollaborate, since they made the first film together. Alex wrote it, Danny filmed it. What they do here is fucking transcending the zombie genre. Not only do they evolve the zombies from the first one, they make them look great like the first one did. They just evolve the zombies in this film, and they make it a lot more scary and a lot more layer than it originally was. The performances are great. Ralph Fiennes, he doesn't come into this film until the third act. Dr. Kennison, the maker of the Bone Temple, which is the name of the second one. My God, is this fucking actor? This fucking, I don't even know how to say it. I'm sorry for cursing. This fucking guy is the closer. He's the finisher. He's the designated hitter. He's the all-star core. He's the fuck, compared to any sport or any other analogy you want to make. This guy is lights out, and the film before we get to him is already at 8.5, 8 before we get to him. He makes this film nearly perfect. And I say nearly because the nearly has nothing to do with him, and it's the tiny bit of the ending that kind of makes me not think this is a perfect film or a masterpiece. Like I want it, like I kind of want to say it is because I've seen it 5 times and I think it is nearly a masterpiece. But Ralph Fiennes as Dr. Kinnison as this emotional integrity and an emotional maturity and tameness to a film that was utterly chaotic and scary. Like when we get introduced to Ralph Fiennes as Dr. Kinnison, it is such a fantastic choice by not only the casting of this film and the director and the vision that Garland and Boyle had, but Ralph Fiennes just brings it to the table, and that's what we're accustomed to him doing. All these late career choices by him have been great, and I think this is the best out of those choices. He was great in Conclave, but I love him as Voldemort. Really fucking good in Schindler's List. I'm biased because I love zombie films. This is his best performance ever. Clip it. This is his best performance ever. And it's arguably the best part of the film. You know, like, it's really absurd what he accomplishes here, especially in the zombie film, and how emotional he makes it, and how mature and how well spoken and believable his character is. I mean, shout out to Ralph Fiennes and co. Amazing. Jodie Comer, unbelievable. Every time I see her in a film, whether it's a good film, a bad film, she is unbelievable in every film I've ever seen her, and she's just a terrific actor, and she's the emotional, she's the emotional, the biggest emotional part of this film. She is the heart of the film. She's the reason why Spikey does what he does. He's the reason why the dad is a liar. Like, you know, sadly, a lot of people's dads probably are liars too. But so much of this film is human, and that's what you have to admire. Like the humane element to a film that's in this almost non-human world is beautiful, and an achievement that is not taken lightly in the zombie genre. Like, this is the best achievement in zombie genre history, and that originally was held by Dawn of the Dead, and Night of the Living Dead. But I think this film overtakes that and brings the zombie genre back to its prowess and rejuvenates the genre. And I think this film, just kind of like Sinners, which I wish I made a video when I first saw it, because I think that film is unbelievable as well. And the hard decision of this year is going to be Sinners, or 28 years later. But anyway, listen, this film is going to rejuvenate the zombie genre, and we're going to get an influx of zombie films, and that's going to come with a lot of bad zombie films, and it's going to come with a lot of watchable zombie films, and hopefully it comes with more great zombie films, because we're already going to get 2 more films in this franchise that is going to be super exciting to be immersed in. And yeah, man, like Aaron Taylor Johnson, when you watch this trailer, you're like, he's going to be the main character of this film, and when you watch the movie, it's like, oh, he's gonna show up again in this film after the first act, and he doesn't, which is an amazing decision by Alex Garland and Danny Boyle to just not do. Like, every creative choice that Garland and Boyle have in this film is the right choice. There isn't a bad choice made in this film, and a lot of the choices made in this film are ambitious and audacious. We'll talk a little bit more about it in the spoilers, but there's a lot of turns in this film, and there's a lot of unpredictability to this film, which you have to admire because there's so many zombie films, and there's a lot of ways you could have wrote this concept and this plot to go in different ways, and it could have been just a fine film or just a good film, or maybe just an entertainingly bad film. But they don't do any of that. They subvert our expectations, and they make this film my highly anticipated film of the year, and a lot of other people's highly anticipated film of the year, truly something special and extraordinary. And you cannot help but feel the weight of the film while watching. Like when I'm watching it, I'm like, holy shit! Like every 30 minutes, I'm like, holy fuck, this is amazing. And the film is beautifully paced. I mean, it just goes by so quick, and you want more, but it's beautifully paced, and you can't overlook that because if it had more runtime, it would feel like, all right, we're spending a little too much time here. An hour and 55 minutes is the perfect runtime, despite me wanting more for my own selfish reasons because I'm dying for zombie shit. But yeah, man, like everything about this movie is great. The filmmaking, it's shot on fucking iPhone 15, and I know the rigs they're using are super expensive, but it's like iPhone 15 shot this. This film is expensive, and you can tell where the money goes to. Like the cinematography, the set pieces, the costume designs, the way the zombies look, the gore. I mean, it's just astounding. I mean, I can't believe how great this film looks. The best scene of the year is the causeway chase scene, which is utterly unearthly. I can't believe how that sequence looks. I don't even understand it. And then another incredibly unique thing about this film is that I don't know if anyone has seen pictures of it, but I saw it on Twitter. I think on some of the behind the scene photos, but they had this giant rig they used where it was like 100 iPhones. So it kind of created like this ring. And I saw a picture of it before I saw the film. I'm like, what the hell? Like, why are they using that many iPhones? And whenever a zombie is killed to start the film, there's just like this big 360 shot of the zombie getting shot by a bow and arrow, and it's some of the most insane filmmaking I've ever seen, especially in a zombie film. So there's so many innovative and unique things going on in this movie where it's like, my God, this is a zombie film, and it's this audacious, this emotional, this humane, and it's still a zombie film that works the best a zombie film has ever worked, and the drama and ultimately the crux of the film that is submerged in this zombie film works great on its own too. And any other zombie film that has tried to dive into the drama end of things and try to expand on father and son relationships or mother and son relationships failed miserably. And the way they evolve zombies in this film with the alphas failed miserably in piece of shit zombie movies like Army of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead, where, I'm not going to say the spoiler, but the remake of Dawn of the Dead has something similar to this movie, and it failed miserably. Same with Army of the Dead, similar to this movie, failed miserably. But this film somehow makes it work, which I will talk about in a little bit. But my God. So I have to give my rating of this film before we get to a little bit of spoilers here, but alright. I'm going to give my Letterboxd rating, and I'm going to give my rating out of 100. And listen, Letterboxd operates on a 5-star system, as most of you people watching this, the 1 to 5 of you, will know. I give it a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Yes, I have to preface, not every film I give a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd is a perfect film. Most of the time it is. However, sometimes it can be near a perfect film, which is like when I give a film a 5 out of 5, it operates on a 95 to 100 scale to me. So if I had to rate this film out of 100, the film is a 98 out of 100, and the reason it's a 98, not 100, is because of the ending of this film. Before I get into spoilers, I will say this in a non-spoilish way. The ending of this film, after a few rewatches that I've had already, is so much fun and so audacious and ambitious. However, the first time I watched this, I did something I've done before, which I had to immediately go see the film again because I had nothing else to do that day. I had no work. I had to go see the film immediately again because I didn't want to make sure that the ending didn't ruin the movie, and it doesn't. And I was okay to feel that way because the ending is the most absurd ending this year, and maybe honestly one of the most absurd endings I've ever seen. It it's so tonally, not totally, tonally different than the rest of the film. It follows a huge emotional sequence of the film, and you kind of feel like the film was gonna end before what happens unhappen, not unhappens but happens. And when it happens, we finally get introduced to Jack O'Connell. We get reintroduced to the character that was introduced to us to the start of the movie, and Jimmy. And what unfolds is so insane and so absurd and honestly a little bit cartoonish, where you're like, what the fuck just happened? And yes, what we see unfold in the scene is beautiful, and not beautiful, but beautifully in a horrific way, in a horror movie way. And it's so cool, but you're like, what the fuck? This is so different from the film. It feels like a completely different movie. What the fuck? And we knew it was gonna set up. We knew what happened at the end of this film, especially if we knew the news of the trilogy. It was gonna set up a second film, and that wasn't my problem with the ending. It was just the tonal difference of it was so odd, and that's people are gonna not like this film or love this film because of that ending. And I think ultimately, after a few rewatches, the ending of this film is a litmus test. Are you having fun? Do you love the zombie genre? Do you love audacious filmmaking? Do you appreciate and admire creative decisions that don't work totally or work 100%? Yes or no? And the answer for me is yes. And I admire the bold and creative ambition that Danny Boyle and Alex Garland have here. And I truly think this script that we are given and the way it's executed is one of the most brilliant scripts and screenplays we'll see in this half decade. And I give it a 98 out of 100, 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Man, I'm going to see this film endlessly. And I'm probably going to see it next weekend again. I know, Matt, get a life. I mean, get a life, bro. But anyway, I'm going to do it with the doubleheader F1 next week because I'm not seeing Megan 2.0. I didn't see the first one, but fucking Christ. Can anyone relate to me here? That trailer looks like the worst trailer of all time, and I fucking can't believe that's a real trailer. Horrible. Anyway, little spoiler talk here. Spoiler. By the way, new to YouTube video making. I don't know how to make graphics yet. I'm not a great editor on YouTube, and so my videos will consist of me mostly here. Like, there's not going to be any like cool spoiler alert graphic yet, but promise better equipment, an actual mic, an actual camera will be used in future videos, because I will be doing this a lot now. I am committed, but for right now, we're gonna have to do with my uncut hair, my uncut beard, and horrible lighting and no graphics, fellas. I'm sorry, and ladies, hopefully. Anyway, all right, spoiler alert. The emotional crux of this movie, because at the end of the day, this film is a zombie film, but the crux of it, it's a coming of age. It's a drama that works really fucking well in this universe, and the way that the zombies are evolved in this film are unbelievable. Like, we're introduced to alphas. A zombie gives birth to an uninfected human, which is at first is like, huh? But then we get like a throwaway line of Dr. Kennison, Ralph Fiennes' character, saying, the placenta, an amazing thing. I wonder if that would happen, or something along those lines. So you're like, okay, the alpha impregnated this zombie female and got her pregnant, and it's uninfected. I'm not a doctor. I don't know how that would work, but the movie makes it believable. And honestly, the moment we get of Jodie Comer's character Isla guiding this zombie woman, the way I'm explaining it sounds stupid. I get it, but it's a spoiler I can't not talk about, because that's the second divisive thing of this film, where it's like the ending people are gonna love or hate or like, and then the pregnancy scene of the zombie woman is where, like, okay, some people definitely got turned off and thought the movie was horrible after this, or it worked for them. And I'm part of the latter. Like, it worked for me. The scene was beautiful where Jodie Comer is guiding this zombie woman into giving birth, and like the zombie woman kind of just transcends the rage virus and leaves the rage virus for a second, like grabs onto Jodie Comer's hands, and it's a beautiful fucking scene. I don't know how it worked, fellas and women, but it did. Okay, and then this film is also like, hold on, let me back up a little bit, because I gotta talk about the sequence of the year, the Causeway runway scene. I don't know if Causeway Run chase scene or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Causeway chase scene, we'll call it. My God, and this unfolds after Spikey is on this journey to get his first two kills on the mainland. They run into some issues. They have to spend a night in a house that eventually caves in, and it's kind of like a metaphor for Spikey and his family at the moment. But they finally think they're in the clear. The Alpha is nowhere to be in sight, and they're making their way to the Causeway. They're cheering, they're happy, and then in the distance we get a shot of Alpha, the Alpha zombie, who is Army of Dead tried to do this where they try to make like an alpha zombie and it failed miserably. And this film just gets it. It just works. Those alpha zombies are scary. One has a gigantic fucking piece on him. I mean, the movie should be called 28 Inches Later if it was a fucking pornographic movie. I mean, my God. It's distracting. It is distracting. Everyone who's seen this movie agrees. And we just found out today it was a prosthetic. Thank God, because I was starting to feel insecure. Anyway. We see this alpha on this hill watching Spikey and his dad running on the causeway, and then he starts fucking running, and then you're like, holy fuck, your ass all starts to pucker, you start to grab your seat, and you know you're in for a fucking good ride. And my God, the cinematography of the scene, the set pieces of the scene, and the sequence is beautiful to look at. I mean, I'm watching this scene, I've seen it so many times now where I'm like, this is shot on an iPhone. Like, as someone who hopes to hopefully get into film business one day and start to do his own filmmaking, it's like, my God, the inspiration that Danny Boyle and his team are here is unbelievable. Because this is an expensive film, and you can really tell where the money is used here. Like, that Causeway Run scene is the best sequence of the year, and it's so beautiful to watch, and it's so intense, and the Alpha chasing after them is an all-time oh shit moment to this year. And this Alpha, the way he runs is so terrifying. The high knees. I played football. I was an offensive lineman, obviously. But it reminded me of this thing in football where I forget what drill it is. I think it's like a ladder drill. I don't know if anyone's familiar. But you're told to run with high knees. And this Alpha is just innately told to run with high knees. All these Alphas are great runners, dude. I mean, the high knees. All the other zombies are dragging their feet, running real weird. These Alphas are fucking running, bro. And this Alpha, the chase scene, they luckily get saved, obviously, but God, man, it's the best scene all year, and it's the greatest sequence of this year, and I love that scene. And then the other couple spoilers where this film succeeds massively is when we get to Dr. Kennison, and the scene before that is when we get introduced to Eric. Eric is this Swedish soldier who's him and his crew's boat, you know, the boat stopped working, alright? The boat started sinking. Him and his team get a life raft roughly, and they're pushed to shore. Only the shore is the UK, which is quarantined off from the rest of the world. And whoever steps foot on this quarantine land is done. No one's coming to save you. You're stuck here forever. So we're introduced to another Alpha, Samson, who we don't get to see his piece yet, but goddamn is he terrifying. And we get pushed into this sequence of all these, I don't know what they're jumping into. It's like this little, I guess like electrical plant that was used when the real world was functioning, but they're jumping into this electrical plant, they're running, they have their guns, and zombies are jumping into this electrical plant thing, and they're chasing after them, and it's a fucking intense scene, man. And the thing I have, this is my nitpick zombie thing. There's a scene where the soldiers are jumping down into this steep alley, and one of them like dislocates their ankle, and the zombies jump down and they don't dislocate or hurt their ankles. Like, that's something I would like to see, like one zombie fucking dislocate their knee or dislocate their ankle, because you got to think that happens, right? Maybe they don't feel it, but goddamn, I want to see a zombie fucking limping, barely making it, and running. You know what I mean? Anyway, Eric is the only one to survive that sequence. I won't go too in depth what happens in the sequence, but Eric's the only one to survive the sequence. He later saves Spike and his mom in a beautiful gas station sequence, in a Shell gas station where the S is driving. It's called Hell, where Spike and his mom are saved by Eric due to benzene built up in the gas station, and it's a fucking intense scene, and it's fucking amazing. There's even the scene in the gas station. One of my favorite overhead shots of the film is the zombies are chasing Spike and his mom into the gas station, and the zombies flank them. Two are running to the front door, three are coming around the other way, and it's like, oh my god, the involvement of these zombies is done so perfectly. And as someone who's hopefully a filmmaker in the future, or someone who just loves zombie films, you can't help but to admire the creativity that Garland and Boyle bring here to zombies. It's like, holy fuck, they actually do it in a smart way. And Eric saved them, and then we get this amazingly comedy stretch of 10 minutes where Eric and Spike are on the opposite spectrums. Eric is a guy who grew up he grew up with the rest of the world where no one gives a shit about UK, no zombies. They grew up in iPhone land. The rest of the world is striving. There's a great conversation where Eric is talking to his friend. Told him one time he was wasting his life, or he told his friend that he was wasting his life by being a delivery driver. And then his friend's like, what are you gonna do, fuck nuts? And he's like, I'm gonna join the Navy. And he's like, nah, look where the fuck I am. I wish I was a delivery driver. That's great. And then there's a scene where Eric, Spikey, and his mom are eating and taking a break on their way to their doctor, Dr. Kennison. And fucking Eric has an iPhone. And Spike is someone who grew up in this post-apocalyptic land. He's 12. This virus has been going on for 28 years. So he doesn't know what a radio is. He barely knows what a photo is. He doesn't know what a delivery driver is. He doesn't know what a fucking iPhone or even a phone is. So that whole sequence is great. Wait, that's fucking hilarious. That whole sequence is great. You know what I mean? So that is so funny too. Like, and the comedy just it gets the biggest pop all year. Honestly, like I haven't heard this many people laugh at a scene all year. Maybe Friendship. I saw Friendship in a packed crowd, which is the top 3 film of the year in my opinion. Tim Robinson's great, but this is a great pop. Like, it was so funny. There's a scene where Eric is talking to Spike about photos. He's like, you know what a photo is? And he's like, here's a recent one. He shows him his fiance. And it's like a typical UK woman. I mean, no offense to anyone, but she has like Botox on her lips. And Spike's like, what's wrong with her face? And it just, the whole sequence with them, I'm not going to butcher it right now, but it's so funny, and everyone is just dying laughing at that scene. And it's so goddamn good. And anyway, and then Eric eventually dies to Samson and his big fucking piece. And then we're introduced to Dr. Kennison and the best third act of the year, and Ralph Fiennes with, honestly, maybe the best performance of the year, alongside Jodie Comer in this film, and alongside Alfie Williams, who gives the best child actor performance I've seen in this half decade. That kid is unbelievable. He's not given an easy part either, especially with what happened in the previous film, 28 Weeks Later, where the kids were horrible and you just wanted to fucking strangle them and kill them for how stupid they are. Everything Spikey does here, yes, is naive because he's 12-year-old, but he's thrown and living in this world. And, like, he thinks now because he survived this one experience, he can go try to save his mom, who is dying. Because he's so naive enough, and he's like, I gotta save my mom. And it makes a lot of sense, and it's just, he's so good in this film, Alfie Williams. Shout out to him. But we're introduced to Dr. Kennison. He saves Spikey and his mom and the baby from meeting certain death with Samson. And the biggest emotional crux of this film is Jodie Comer finds out she's cancer-ridden. It's now affecting her brain, and Dr. Kennison has to explain to Spikey that I can't save her. Like, even in a world where there's no zombies and, you know, medicine has progressed, I can't save her. And for the first time in the whole movie, for the first time, the whole movie, Spike finally realizes the situation he's in, and he realizes what's gonna happen. And it's really great because Dr. Kennison, the lore that is added to him before we actually get to see him is so goddamn good by Aaron Taylor Johnson, and it lives up to expectations because the second film of this trilogy, planned trilogy, is going to be called Bone Temple, and we get introduced to Dr. Kennison in his Bone Temple, and my God, it's you think at first it'd be like something scary, like he's just burning all these dead bodies to make a temple, but it has actual meaning behind it. Like the line of the year might be a memento mori, which is remember we must die, followed up by another line later, where Spikey realizes like his mom is gonna die, and Kennison and his mom are talking about it. They're saying their last love yous and goodbyes, and Dr. Kennison says, "You remember the line I told you earlier, memento mori? Like there's another one, memento amoris. Remember we must love," and it's so beautiful. And I've never seen a zombie film. Let me know if I'm wrong. Whoever the fuck interacts with this video, let me know if I'm wrong. Have we ever seen a zombie film with this much emotional connection attached to it? No, we just haven't. And if we have seen a zombie film try to incorporate some emotional factor to it, it fails miserably. Miserably. This film hits the emotional connection of this film and makes it so humane and feels so fucking right. And honestly, I didn't cry during the sequences that unfold with his mom ultimately meeting her fate and putting her out of her misery and eventually having her put on top of the Bone Temple. But a lot of people are crying during this scene, and I don't blame them because, yeah, I'm not crying. It's kind of hard for me to cry during certain movies, especially a zombie movie, but, like, I'm emotionally affected by the scene. Like, I feel the connection, and it's influencing me in some way, and it's beautiful filmmaking. It's beautifully done from a creative perspective, not only as the writer, but as the creative decision maker. Like, it's beautiful. And that's the biggest part of this film, because if they do that scene and it doesn't work, then the film is ruined, but it works due to the writing, but also due to Ralph Fiennes, who's a closer, an all-star, a true professional, and someone who's making some of the best late career decisions you can make. And then Alfie Williams, Ralph Fiennes, and Jodie Comer here collaborate in this third act and make something truly powerful and truly extraordinary, and brings this film to an all-time high. Like, before Ralph Fiennes enters this film, it's already like 8.5, 8 out of 10. And then Ralph Fiennes comes on the screen, and it just fucking gets insanely better, which you didn't think was possible. And you're like, what the hell? Ralph Fiennes is so good. I love Ralph Fiennes. He's great in Conclave, great in every film he's been in, great in Schindler's List. I'm biased. I told you guys I'm biased. I think this is his best performance of his career, and I think it's one of the most ambitious decisions of his career, because when you sign up as an actor to do a zombie film, most of the time it's not going to work out. It's not going to pan out. It pans out here because what Alex Garland and Danny Boyle created is beautiful, but Ralph Fiennes brings it to life, and my God, man, he's so goddamn good. And listen, it's amazing. All three acts of this film are amazing, and 98% of it is great and perfect to me. We get to the ending. You know, Spikey's mom died, put out of her misery, beautiful scene, put him on top of a temple. It's a huge emotional thing. Dr. Kennison and Spikey almost die to Samson, but Spikey saves Kennison by taking out the morphine dart in Kennison's pocket and stabs Samson. And eventually, Kennison's like, "Hey, I think it's time for you and the baby to head home." And it heads home, and you think the movie's about to end. You hear the old theme song playing, and then you hear the narration of the letter that Spikey left with the baby outside of the front gate to his dad. We see this great sequence of Aaron Taylor Johnson getting the news of what Spikey's doing. He's on the mainland, and he's trying to go as far as he can until he doesn't see the sea. And we got this beautiful scene of Aaron Taylor Johnson realizing and living with what he did, lying to his son, cheating on his cancer-ridden wife, and you see him running to the front gate, and this is a beautiful scene. Like, there's so much emotion attached to it. And then, because listen, I think after a couple of rewatches, honestly, even after the second rewatch, I'm like, this is a fun scene. It's a really good ending. We all film, I'm like, where's Jack O'Connell? Where's Jack O'Connell? Especially after the Sinners performance he had earlier this year. And we finally get him in this scene where we see Spikey grow up and he has this fish he's cooking and he shoots a zombie. He's running away from another zombie, shoots it when he comes to this impasse in the road. And then we hear a voice from above, and it's Jimmy, the young kid we were introduced at the start of the film for the first zombie sequence. And Jimmy is older now. He has blonde hair, the cross that his priest father, who got freaking massacred by a bunch of zombies to start the film, he's wearing the cross, but it's upside down. He's followed by a crew of everyone with blonde hair and jumpsuits, and he's telling Spikey, listen, great, I'm impressed. Now I think there's too many coming. Can we help you out? You mind if we step in? And Spikey's like, sure. Like, doesn't even say anything, I'm pretty sure. He just shakes his head. And then what pursues that that afterwards is maybe the most shocking ending in this half decade. It's so ambitious. I know I've said these words a lot, but it's so ambitious and audacious, and it's honestly awe-inspiring after a while. It's like, I can't believe they decided to end this film and shit. Like, I know we're setting up a sequel, and we needed to get reintroduced to Jimmy because we saw him at the start of the film. If we didn't reintroduce ourselves to Jimmy, we would be like, what the hell was that opening sequence for? But we're reintroduced to Jimmy, and what ensues is just this big Teletubby / Power Ranger sequence of Jimmy and all of his other Jimmys just killing these zombies. They're doing backflips, jumping off walls, doing this cool saw thing of a zombie's throat. And you're like, wow, what the fuck? I've seen this movie an embarrassing amount of times, as you guys know, but every time the credits roll, especially since the credits are all black and the lights don't come on after the full credits show up, everyone's just like you hear people like, what the fuck just happened? Like, some people are saying that ruined the movie, some people are saying that's awful, some people are laughing. And this is like that, the pregnancy scene with the zombie, and this is what's going to decide people from saying if they love it, like it, or don't like it, or think it's horrible. Like, and that's what comes with a lot of great films, the decisiveness of it all, and the objectiveness of it all. And it's like, that's why after I watch it again, and I'm like, this is actually really fun, and it sets up the second film for a different tone. Because the only thing that hurt me a lot the first time was like, 98% of this film is great, and I was worried that the ending was too much of a car crash, too much of a change in direction and tone, where I'm like, okay, did that just ruin the film for me? And I was wrong. It doesn't ruin the film for me. It's very fun, and it's awesome when you think about it, and when you watch it again and you realize Jimmy's from the opening scene. And it's fucking fun. And it sets up for a great insight into what Spike and Jimmy, what that relationship could be like, and what Jimmy possibly is on the mainland. Like, this guy's clearly like a cult leader or a god figure on the mainland. So, man, that's the only problem. Like that's the ending is really what's stopping me from saying this is a full on masterpiece. Like, I think it's nearly a perfect film, nearly a masterpiece, but that ending is so tonally different, despite how much fun it is after a while, that it stops me from giving me 100 out of 100. It's still a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. It's a 90 out of 100, but do I kind of wish that ending was a mid-credit scene, kind of like what Sinners did? Yeah. Do I think it could have ended like 1 minute earlier, where Jimmy just says yo to Spikey, and then you're like, what the fuck? But Danny Boyle, Alex Garland, it lived up to my expectations, probably exceeded it. I think it's the greatest zombie film of all time, despite my problem-ish with the ending. And I'm so excited for this planned trilogy, man. Despite Danny Boyle not directing the second one, which is confusing to me. But Nia DaCosta did not like the Marvels, did not like the Candyman remake. But guess what? I have faith. 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 I have to say I have faith, because Cillian Murphy's going to be in it. Ralph Fiennes is going to be in it. Aaron Taylor Johnson's going to be in it. Alfie Williams is going to be in it. Jack O'Connell's going to be in it. So I was like, how could this go wrong? I don't think it can. This is a fucking great film. I'm going to support this film as long as I can, as much as I can. Listen, the zombie genre is back, thanks to Danny Boyle, Alfie Williams, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Alex Garland, Jodie Comer, Ralph Fiennes. It is back. What a display of filmmaking. What a display of performance. And just what a display of cinema. I mean, out of this world, unearthly. Causeway runway chase scene of the year. Samson almost made me feel insecure until I found out it was a prosthetic today, you fraud. But anyway, this is my first video. I'm committed now. I'm going to be doing more reviews. I'm going to be back for next week with F1 review. It looked great. Brad Pitt, Javier Bardem. I'm also going to be doing reviews of some old films, some of my favorite films of all time. I'm going to do rankings. I'm going to do a whole bunch of stuff, man. So, yeah, this is it. This is me sticking my foot in the hole. This is me diving in my own hole. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, this channel grows over a while. I'm going to do it regardless. Even if it's one person, 0 people watching me, I'm going to do it. Let's go. The equipment, the graphics will be there and better over time. I'll be getting better equipment over time, but as for the first video, maybe the second video, it will be recorded off an Apple laptop. Have a good night, fellas. Have a good one.